Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch of Crime Talk. Today on the docket, first, Fotis Dulos discusses his $2 million gift from his father-in-law. Second, a fur-stabbing woman with mental health issues. Third, a woman offers a reward for the death of her husband, is actually charged with the death of her husband. And fourth, the dumb criminal of the day contestant who should have just said, "Yo quiero Taco Bell." Let's talk about it. Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch of Crime Talk, and thank you for watching. First, I want to thank you all for being here. Second, this could not be possible without you. And yes, if you have not subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button. If you like our video, please hit the like button and leave us a comment at the end of it because we will ask what your opinion is. First on the docket, Fotis Dulos. For those of you who follow this channel on a regular basis, already know that Fotis Dulos is the key suspect in the disappearance of his wife, Jennifer Dulos. Fotis Dulos, along with his girlfriend, are charged with tampering and interference with an investigation, but they have not been charged with the death of Jennifer Dulos because, well, there is no body. They can't actually say that she is deceased, and that's a problem in most cases, unless, of course, you live in Teller County, Colorado. Now, Fotis Dulos has a lot going on. He obviously has the pending criminal case. He has a pending homicide investigation. He has pending matters trying to get his children back from his mother-in-law who has custody of the children. And yes, there's more. Mr. Fotis Dulos, let me scratch my nose. And yes, there's more. Mr. Fotis Dulos has been sued by Jennifer Dulos' mother, Gloria Farber, for $2.5 million that she wants back from Mr. Fotis Dulos. Fotis Dulos says that the money was a gift from his ex-father-in-law, who is now deceased, and that he does not have to pay the $2.5 million that he is being sued for. All right? So what does Mr. Dulos say? Well, the father-in-law is gone. He cannot come and testify. We cannot testify as to what the father-in-law said, because that would be hearsay. And so Mr. Dulos gets up and says, you know, it was a gift. It was a gift. My father-in-law had loaned me money over the years, and everything was fine. It was a business relationship. It was all good. But this 2.5, it wasn't really a loan. It wasn't an advance. That was a gift. That's his story, and he's sticking to it. No ruling by the judge just yet. The court will have to make its decision on what evidence is actually presented, not the evidence that they would like to actually hear or see presented in court. Next on the docket, we have the case of an anti-fur activist by the name of Meredith Lowell. And Miss Lowell stabbed another woman who she thought was wearing fur boots. It turned out, after all, that the boots were not actual fur, but imitation fur. Now, Miss Lowell has had a history of anti-fur activism trouble. In fact, on a case several years ago, she put out a request on Facebook asking for a hitman to kill people that, in fact, wear fur. She was prosecuted. Ultimately, the case was dismissed because the court determined and the prosecution determined that Miss Lowell had mental health issues. It's more than likely that Miss Lowell will also be found to have mental health issues on this particular case. Miss Lowell remains in custody on a $1 million bond where she will probably stay until they probably get her on some meds and some help. Our next case on the docket involves Cindy Schultz Judes. She is the widow of Kenneth Judes, who died in 2006 by a gunshot wound. From the beginning of this investigation, as it relates to the death of Kenneth Judes, all evidence led detectives to believe that Kenneth Judes was intentionally shot to death while in his home. The wife, Cindy Schultz Judes, put out a $25,000 reward for any information leading to the person that may be the prime suspect in the death of her husband. Now, Miss Schultz-Judes has always been somewhat of interest in this particular case based upon inconsistent stories that she gave to police and family members over the years. Some of those inconsistent statements came out during a civil lawsuit where the children of Kenneth Judes sued their stepmother, Cindy Schultz-Jude, alleging that she, in fact, had killed their father for the money, insurance money, some $200,000. Miss Schultz-Judes had stated that throughout these proceedings and over the years, she has professed her innocence, and she does not feel as though she is a person of interest in her husband's death, nor should she be in any way. In fact, she claims that most of the money that she received from the insurance company actually did, in fact, go to the children, so therefore she no way benefited from the death of her husband. Based upon new information, which is still unclear, but it appears that it came from the medical examiner, that work from the district attorney's office, and the Wisconsin Department of Justice and the FBI, and accordingly, apparently, some other agencies. Miss Cindy Schultz-Judes has been charged with the death of her husband. Miss Schultz-Judes remains in custody on a $1 million bond, and looks like she will probably remain in there during the pendency of the case. We'll be following this one because, frankly, these types of cases always interest me. And given the fact that literally 14 years has gone by and nothing had taken place, and then all of a sudden, here we are, what's changed? I'd be curious to see if there were some admissions made to somebody about this, because the medical evidence and science probably hasn't changed. The weapon hasn't changed. So my guess is somebody said something probably in a bar. Because remember, anything a defendant says to anyone can be used against them as an admission by a party opponent in a case. And in this particular case, anything that she said can be used against her. It's not just when you're talking to the police. So you can't go in and say, brag about a crime to your buddies at the bar and then tell the police, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not saying anything, because those statements come in regardless. They can be subject to cross-examination, motive, bias, fabrication, etc. However, they are coming into evidence. The next matter on the docket is our daily contestant for the Dumb Criminal of the Week. And our contestant, and Mr. Bell is presumed innocent, but his name is Timothy James Bell. And apparently, according to the affidavit, Mr. Bell is alleged to have committed a robbery when he approached another person on the street and took that person's property by force. The defendant made threatening statements during the robbery. Then the victim followed the defendant while on the phone with the police until the defendant was taken into custody. The victim positively identified the defendant as the one that robbed him. What did he steal? Yes, he stole the victim's burrito. Now, the truly damning information against Mr. Bell is the fact that when he was contacted by the police, what did they find in the possession of Mr. Bell? Yes, that's right. Wrapper from the burrito that he stole. Can't this guy just go to Taco Bell? What does a burrito cost at Taco Bell? Was it 79 cents, $1.29, something along those lines? Really? Was it really worth it? Man, that guy was hungry. If he wins the Dumb Criminal of the Week, not only is he going to get a mug, Taco Bell should give this guy a year's worth of free burritos just so he doesn't do something like this again. Taco Bell, let's talk about it. That's all we have for today. Do you think Fotis Dulos is telling the truth? Do you think it's a $2 million loan, or is he trying to stiff his ex-in-laws? Also, coming up tomorrow, we have an interview with Lisa Derhally and her new book titled My Daddy is a Hero, How Chris Watts Went from Family Man to Family Killer. We're going to have her interview. Her book is already at the top of the Amazon top sellers, and it actually, I believe, goes on sale tomorrow. So we're going to have her. Hope you tune in. Let's talk about it.